Welcome to this week's edition of In the Clubhouse with EMD Baseball. I'm Andy Kirikides, joined by my wonderful and handsome co-host, Coach Glasser. Coach, how we doing?
Great. Even better after that intro.
Yeah, well, if you're not watching on YouTube, you probably should be. He has a wonderful beard, and he's a handsome man. We're going to talk about pop times, Keith. This is going to be the quick hitter for the week. And pop times, love them, hate them. Might be closer to the hate on this one, but let's talk through it.
This is a near and dear topic to my heart. I was a catcher, as probably everyone knows at this point in time. I could catch and throw a little bit, I would say. But I think the rise in the pop time being ridiculous has happened over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. With the rise of showcases and really the only way that we can evaluate catchers metrically in a showcase setting is a pop time. It's the only thing you really put a number on, right? Like you can't put a number on receiving, you can't put a number on blocking from a showcase setting. And realistically, unless we're going to have like actual live pitchers throwing at them or setting up a hack attack or pitching machine, we're not going to get real live velo. We're not going to get live breaking balls and stuff in the dirt to watch guys block and see how they move. So there's, it's not necessarily conducive to the moving the showcase along and being there. So we do the pop time. You get 5 throws. You usually get like 3 to second, 2 to third, 3 to second. The throw to third is useless as much as sometimes the pop times, right? My problem with it is they're inflated, and without unless you're a 2-0 in the tag zone, and I define the tag zone as about knee high on the bag to the first base side of second base, where the second baseman or shortstop can catch that ball and immediately tag the runner who is trying to steal second base. Anything other than there is outside the tag zone, which then adds time to your pop time. By definition, it's glove to glove. But if the second baseman catches the ball on the shortstop side of second base, you're not throwing anyone out. That could be you could be a 2-0 there, but now he has to catch the ball over there and reach all the way back across the body to try to tag the runner who's sliding in on him. It takes more time. It's not necessarily a true 2-0. It's not a true 185. It's not a true 197. The best guys in the world who do this at the professional level in the big leagues are throwing it, averaging about a 1.9. And then I'm led to believe that there's hundreds of 14 to 16-year-old kids out there that are throwing better than JT Realmuto and some of the best guys in the world. I feel like I'm Mugato, Will Ferrell in Zoolander. I must be taking crazy pills. What are we doing? And it's gotten to the point, it's one of those things where the first time you saw it, it was like a 1.9. You're like, yeah, maybe. And then it just goes lower and lower and lower. And it's how long do we let this go? And for me, the reality is when you get to the college level, yes, you have to have some semblance of arm strength and you have to be able to reach second base and do those types of things. But the other is, there's so much more that goes into catching at the college level that you need to have, you need to be more than just somebody who can throw the ball to second base. You have to be able to block the ball. You have to be able to catch the ball. Those are paramount things. In order for me, it's receiving, blocking, throwing, everything else. Because if you're the starting catcher, we're going to finish up in the bullpen, and then we're going to go into game. You're going to catch 250 balls that day. You better catch them. And then you're going to block 20 to 30. You better block them. You might throw 0 times. You might throw 4 times. But if you're throwing 4 times, it's because you're not a 2-0 thrower. It's because people can steal on you in the pitching staff. So we have other issues that we have to break down. But the other is, how do we command the game? How do we work with our pitchers? How do we see the game? Being a catcher at the college level, it takes into account so much more than the pop time. And I think so many people have put so much emphasis on it that it's become this thing that is just the be all end all. And it's this is literally one of the least important things when it comes to catching at all that we're putting all this emphasis on. It doesn't matter. Is there a floor? Yes. We talk about with hitting, we talk about with velo, everything. Is there a floor? Yeah, there's a floor. But if we're talking about it from a recruitable standpoint, the pop time is one of the least important things in the recruiting process if you're a catcher. Sorry. You can tell I'm fired up.
Well, here's the reality of it. You don't need a stopwatch to tell if somebody's a good thrower.
No.
Just like you don't need a radar gun to tell if a shortstop has arm strength or a right fielder has arm strength. Like, we didn't need it 10 years ago. We don't need it now. Is it nice to be able to quantify? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Like, it is nice to see, but there's no coach out there who recruits a catcher because he's not a 1-9 thrower. Like, if you're a 2-0 thrower, but it's on the bag, like, and you do all the other stuff really well, like, you don't get crossed off somebody's list because you're an actual 2-0 thrower, especially if you're a 2-0 thrower in a game. If you're a 2-0 thrower in a game and you're an accurate thrower and your pitching staff does anything at all to hold runners, you're going to throw out everybody you're supposed to throw out.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So, yeah, I think the wild pop times you see on Twitter and stuff, yeah, they break me. It's laughable. But, it's just, you don't need it in terms of a metric. Coaches don't need it, I should say. It's a nice thing to have, and it's a nice thing for development because it gives kids something to work towards. Hey, I was a 2-1 last summer. Now I'm a 2-0 because my footwork got better and my arm strength got better. And I think it's really good for development. But from a coach's perspective, I don't need a stopwatch to find out if a kid can throw. Right? Like,
right.
I watched a bunch of Columbia games when Eric was there and Tish were there. I didn't need a stopwatch to know that Wes Eberle was an elite thrower of the baseball. Didn't need it because you could just watch him operate and be able to throw from slots, be able to get the ball in the bag. Like, I don't even know what the kid's pop time was, but it doesn't matter because all he did was throw people out. So, yeah, if you're a young catcher, should you work on getting your pop time down? Yes, because it is a metric that you have control over. But seeing these 1/8s and showcases and stuff, like, come on. Coaches don't care about that. I want to see what you do when there's a batter in the box and you're trying to throw a guy out who's moving. That's when I'll find out how good of a thrower you are.
Yeah. And on a breaking ball, moving away from your glove side and a runner and a swing. And, those are the things that you're going to have to contend with when you get into a game, not a, glove side and high fastball from a showcase setting that, I can just stand up and throw. There has to be some sort of, it's got to show. I say this all the time. It's got to show up in game. I have very rarely seen somebody who's like a 1.95 in a showcase go into the game and be a 1.95. Very rarely have I seen it. Like, do you see it at the high levels? Yes, you do. But very rarely in all the showcases I went to did I watch a kid get behind the dish and go 1.9 and then in game be like, he's a 1.94. He's a 1.96. Like, close enough for me, right? Like, but most of the time, I see it go the other way. Like, he's a 1.9 and he's a 2.4 in game. Like, because we angle our feet. We literally cheat to get ourselves in a stance where our feet are already damn near set. So then all we have to do is just move them a tad bit and then throw. Like, that doesn't happen in a game. You don't set up with your whole body turned because nobody can throw to you. If 3/4 of your body can't be seen by the pitcher, nobody wants to throw to you in an actual game. Like, it just doesn't happen. The umpire can't set up behind you. Like, it's all been done to be good at one thing that, in my opinion, does not necessarily equate to you being a really good catcher and being recruitable. Like, I've never recruited a catcher because he had a good arm. And if I did, trust me, like, I would want a Jason Mott type thing where, like, it's like he can't catch, but we're going to put him on the mound and he's going to just throw nitro.
But even that cat in college, like, the only reason he didn't make it in the big leagues as a catcher is because he couldn't hit. But
yeah, it was a bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're not. I get what you're saying. You're not nobody's getting recruited just because they can throw.
Yes. But nobody's getting
It's a
recruited because you
It's
have
a nice to
wonderful
have,
ball.
but if you can't do the other stuff, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you can't catch the ball, you can't block the ball, and can't hit, like you threw 1-9, awesome. Like you're a pitcher.
But go to the mound. Yeah. Well, work on your pop time, but don't think that that's the only thing that coaches are looking at when they're evaluating catches. I think that's a lesson learned here. And I don't think there's many 1-8, 16-year-olds out there. So maybe we should stop posting that on Twitter.
They won't.
All right. That's it for this week. Thanks, Coach. Love the enthusiasm.
Thanks. I'm fired up right now.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Throttle those follow buttons.
And follow us on the interwebs, emdbaseball.com. Thanks, everybody.